Tourists are abandoning Las Vegas in record numbers and flocking to a tiny mountain town instead. Picture that headline smashing across your screen like a plot twist nobody saw coming. Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, the neon titan, the cash-devouring circus, is watching travelers walk away from its glittering streets and head straight into Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Yes, Gatlinburg, a place with more black bears than blackjack tables, more cabins than casinos, and more peace than Vegas has had in decades. Let that sink in. While Vegas is drowning in complaints about $40 drinks, suffocating resort fees, and tourists leaving feeling like they've been financially mugged, Gatlinburg is quietly exploding. Families, couples, retirees, even former Vegas loyalists are choosing fog-kissed mountains, cheap cabins, and real happiness over the artificial chaos of the Strip. And if you clicked on this video wondering how a small mountain town is stealing the spotlight from America's most iconic playground, then you're in the perfect spot. Because what's happening right now isn't just a destination swap. It's a full-blown shift in what travelers want, how they spend, and where they feel alive. And trust me, once you hear the reasons, Vegas will never look the same again. Starting with Gatlinburg, the mountain town that stole America's heart. Imagine stepping into a place that feels like a warm hug, wrapped in wood smoke, pancake syrup, and mountain mist. Gatlinburg isn't just a town anymore, it's a full-blown phenomenon. A tiny dot on the Tennessee map that somehow managed to hijack the national tourism conversation and leave Las Vegas looking like an overpriced relic of its own hype. Folks aren't whispering about Gatlinburg. They're chanting its name like they've discovered a secret portal to sanity. Picture waking up in a log cabin where the only alarm clock is the sound of wind brushing against pine trees. No sirens, no slot machines, no "please insert your card again." Just silence so pure it feels illegal. Gatlinburg gives people something Vegas forgot to sell. Peace. And that peace comes cheap. Cabins that cost less than a Vegas buffet, views that feel like nature's IMAX, and air so clean you can actually smell your thoughts again. But here's the deeper part. Travelers aren't just saving money, they're saving themselves. Gatlinburg is where burned-out workers, exhausted parents, and stressed-out city kids go to remember what happiness feels like. If Vegas is a high-voltage circus, Gatlinburg is an emotional reset button disguised as a mountain town. And trust me, if that's the opening act, the next reason hits even harder. Let's move on to number 2. Moving on to number 2, the Vegas burnout effect picture, walking down the Las Vegas Strip. Lights exploding in your face, speakers blasting from every direction, crowds squeezing you like your toothpaste in a metal tube. Every sign screams at you. Every screen demands your attention. Every corner tries to sell you something you didn't ask for. Vegas has become capitalism on caffeine, and tourists are feeling it in their bones. Now imagine doing that for 3 days straight. No real sleep. No real silence, no real escape. Just noise, neon, and nonstop stimulation, pounding your senses until your brain feels like it's vibrating. That's the Vegas burnout effect. The moment travelers realize they're not on vacation. They're in survival mode. People used to love Vegas for the chaos, but now, that same chaos feels suffocating. Visitors talk about leaving the city feeling older, poorer, dehydrated, and strangely empty. A weekend in Vegas feels less like fun and more like jetting straight into an anxiety festival, where the exit costs $60 in resort fees. Tourists are tired. Tired of noise, tired of crowds, tired of being drained emotionally and financially. And this burnout has pushed millions to search for the exact opposite. A place where the world slows down, where you can hear yourself think, where joy isn't measured in casino chips, and that's exactly where Gatlinburg steps in like a breath of fresh mountain air. But hold on. If you think burnout is the only reason people are escaping Vegas, the next point flips the entire story. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3. The money trap versus the money saver picture opening your wallet in Las Vegas and hearing it scream for mercy. Because in Vegas, everything, and I mean everything, has a price tag sharp enough to slice your enthusiasm in half. A simple breakfast feels like a hostage negotiation. A cocktail costs more than your weekly groceries. You pay resort fees that sound like penalties for crimes you didn't commit. Even parking feels like a subscription service you never signed up for. Vegas used to be the land of cheap buffets and easy thrills. Now it's a money machine with no off button. Tourists joke that the only gamble they didn't expect was whether they could afford to enjoy themselves. Imagine dropping hundreds of dollars before you've even had fun. That's the modern Vegas experience. Fun comes second. The bill comes first. Now picture Gatlinburg, the financial opposite of that circus. Cabins that cost less than a Vegas breakfast buffet, meals that don't require a loan application, attractions that don't leave your bank account gasping for air. In Gatlinburg, the mountains are free, the views are free, the peace is free, and the joy feels real. Families love it because they can stretch a weekend into a full vacation without their credit card melting. Retirees love it because they don't have to choose between adventure and affordability. Couples love it because romance doesn't require selling a kidney on the dark web. And that's the secret nobody wants to admit. People aren't just choosing Gatlinburg. They're escaping Vegas before it drains them dry. But if you think the financial contrast is shocking, wait till you see how the vibe itself turns the whole story upside down. Let's roll into number 4. Number 4. Chaos tourism versus calm tourism. Picture yourself standing in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip. The air feels charged, almost electric, like you've stepped into a pinball machine built by someone with caffeine-induced tremors. Horns blaring, crowds pushing, sirens slicing through the night, screens flashing so fast your eyes don't know where to land. Every second is noise layered on top of more noise. It's chaos with a marketing budget. Vegas sells adrenaline disguised as entertainment. It's a carnival where the volume knob is permanently snapped off at maximum. And sure, some people come looking for that high-voltage rush, but millions are quietly realizing that this kind of fun is exhausting. It's stimulation overload, sensory burnout. You leave feeling like you've run a marathon through a loudspeaker. Now imagine swapping that chaos for a slow, steady breath in Gatlinburg. The kind where the air actually tastes like trees instead of cigarette smoke and neon heat. Instead of traffic, you hear streams trickling and leaves whispering. Instead of crowds, you get space. Real space to stretch, to think, to exist without 1,000 distractions pulling at your brain. Gatlinburg doesn't shove itself in your face. It invites you in. It calms you down. It reminds you that vacations are supposed to recharge you, not fry your nervous system like a spark plug in a thunderstorm. And that's the real plot twist. People don't just want entertainment anymore. They want peace. They want to breathe. They want to feel something real, which leads us straight into the next factor that's flipping the tourism world on its head. Let's drift into number 5. Number 5, the family factor. Nobody talks about picture trying to plan a family trip to Las Vegas. Go ahead, try. You'll realize pretty quickly that everything about the city screams adults only. Slot machines blinking like alien eyes, drunk crowds stumbling at noon, billboards advertising things you hope your kids never learn to spell. It's a playground built for grown-up chaos, not childhood wonder. Families walk around Vegas like they're navigating a minefield made of neon and questionable decisions. Now picture Gatlinburg, the exact opposite energy. A place where families don't feel like outsiders, a place built for laughter instead of late-night regret. Parents breathe easier because every corner offers something wholesome. Pancake houses, candy shops, mini golf, aquariums, mountain coasters, dinner shows, the whole nostalgic package. Gatlinburg feels like someone grabbed childhood joy, dipped it in maple syrup, and spread it across a mountainside. Kids can actually run, explore, touch grass, be loud, be free. Couples get romance. Parents get peace. Grandparents get memories that don't involve card tables and cigarette smoke. And unlike Vegas, where family activities feel like side quests, Gatlinburg makes them the main event. It's Vegas for kids, but with nature instead of neon and kindness instead of chaos. And the wild part? Families aren't just visiting Gatlinburg, they're returning again and again because it's the one vacation where everyone leaves happy. Vegas sends you home drained. Gatlinburg sends you home whole. But don't get too comfortable because the next point shows why Gatlinburg isn't just winning hearts. It's winning the entire definition of what counts as luxury in 2025. Let's step into number 6. Number 6, nature's free luxury versus Vegas's paid illusions. Picture this. In Vegas, luxury is something you buy. VIP lounges, pool cabanas, rooftop bars, bottle service, with a sparkler that burns for 5 seconds but costs as much as your weekly groceries. Vegas has mastered the art of selling illusions. Glitter wrapped in a credit card charge. You don't just watch luxury there, you rent it for a few hours, then return it when your bank balance taps out. Now picture Gatlinburg, where the greatest luxury in the world doesn't come with a bill. Nature puts on a show that Vegas couldn't copy, even if it had $1 trillion budget. Sunsets spilling over the Smoky Mountains like melted gold. Fog rolling through the valleys like nature's slow-motion special effects. Rivers whispering through the woods. Trails leading to waterfalls that look like postcards come to life. This is luxury that can't be manufactured. Luxury that can't be taxed. Luxury that doesn't expire at checkout time. In Gatlinburg, you don't need a wristband to see something breathtaking. You don't need reservations to feel alive. You don't need a dress code to sit on a porch and watch the sky change colors. The mountains do the work for you, beautifully, endlessly, and without asking for your debit card. And let this sink in. Travelers today want experiences, not transactions. Vegas makes you pay for magic. Gatlinburg hands it to you for free, wrapped in pine-scented air and birdsong. But if you think nature alone is winning the battle, the next reason digs into something even deeper than scenery. Let's move into number 7. Number 7. The emotional reset travelers are craving. Picture the moment you step off the plane in Vegas. Your brain switches into high alert mode without your permission. The noise, the crowds, the flashing lights, they hit your senses like 1,000 notifications buzzing at once. It's entertainment, sure, but it's also emotional overload. By day 2, people start saying the same thing. I need a break from my vacation. That's the hidden tax of Vegas. Your peace. Now picture driving into Gatlinburg instead. The mountains rise in slow motion. Your shoulders drop. Your breath deepens. Your mind unclenches. Something inside you finally whispers, This is what I needed. You're not being entertained. You're being restored. Travelers describe it like therapy wrapped in trees, a reset button disguised as a town. This emotional shift is the real secret behind Gatlinburg's rise. People today aren't just tired. They're soul tired. Burned out by work, screens, deadlines, noise, pressure, everything. Vegas adds more chaos to that pile. Gatlinburg peels it away. Every step in this mountain town feels like permission to slow down. Permission to feel human again. Permission to exist without being overstimulated. And when people finally feel that emotional exhale, guess what? They come back. They tell others. They choose Gatlinburg again because it doesn't drain them. It heals them. And if you're thinking this emotional shift is the biggest reason for the tourism swing, hold on, because what comes next digs into the raw truth that separates these two destinations at their core. Let's roll into number 8. Number 8, authenticity versus artificiality. Picture walking through Las Vegas and everything, absolutely everything, feels engineered. The pyramids, the Eiffel Tower, the canals, the neon jungles. It's all a giant theatrical set built to convince you you're somewhere magical. But the longer you're there, the more you feel the seams showing. The magic feels manufactured. The smiles feel scripted. The entire city starts to feel like a theme park where the main attraction is your wallet. Vegas is fun, sure, but nothing is real. It's a world made of replicas, illusions, copies of things that exist somewhere else. You feel entertained but not connected. dazzled but not moved. It's the kind of place where you take photos, but you don't take memories. Now picture Gatlinburg, small, imperfect, unpolished, and unapologetically real. Pancake houses older than most Vegas hotels. Family-run shops where the owner still remembers your name. Trails carved by rain, wind, and time, not construction crews. Cabins that creak, rivers that roar, nights that fall dark and honest. Nothing is pretending to be something else. Gatlinburg doesn't perform for you. It welcomes you. And that's what travelers are starving for. Authenticity. Something real in a world drowning in filters, reruns, and artificial excitement. In Gatlinburg, you don't feel like a customer. You feel like a guest. You feel like a human being again. People walk away from this mountain town saying, "This place felt real, and I didn't know how much I needed that." And if authenticity is what people crave, wait until you see what happens when tourists start sharing their stories about these two places. Because the next point pulls back the curtain on what travelers really say once the vacation ends. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9, the hidden stories. Tourists share behind the scenes. Picture the conversations people have after their vacations. The real reviews, the honest confessions, the stories they don't post on Instagram. This is where the truth about Vegas and Gatlinburg really spills out. And trust me, the gap between the two is wider than the Grand Canyon. When people talk about Vegas, the tone changes. They whisper about the exhaustion. They joke about how their wallet still hasn't recovered. They admit the trip was fun, but too much. Too loud. Too crowded. Too expensive. Too draining. It's always a story dipped in regret with a punchline about how they need a vacation from their vacation. But listen to the stories people tell about Gatlinburg, and it hits completely different. Families talk about campfires and laughter that felt like childhood. Couples gush about cabins that made them feel closer than they've felt in years. Parents rave about seeing their kids actually happy, not overstimulated or bored or lost in screens. Retirees talk about rediscovering peace they forgot existed. Solo travelers describe it like stepping into a reset chamber built by Mother Nature herself. One guy said, Vegas left him empty but overstimulated, while Gatlinburg left him quiet on the outside, alive on the inside. Another woman joked that she lost money in Vegas but found herself in Gatlinburg. Cheesy? Maybe. True? Absolutely. And here's the kicker. When people share these stories with friends, coworkers, family members, the ripple effect becomes unstoppable. Vegas relies on hype. Gatlinburg grows through love. Word of mouth versus flashy marketing. Soul versus spectacle. And soul is winning the long game. But now comes the biggest twist of all. The future. Because the next point reveals why Gatlinburg isn't just a trend. It's shaping the new direction of American tourism itself. Let's move into number 10. Number 10. The future of U.S. tourism and why Gatlinburg is winning it. Picture the roadmap of American tourism shifting in real time. For decades, Vegas stood like a glowing throne, a place where every new trend was born, every record was broken, every traveler eventually visited. But the future isn't pointing toward neon anymore. It's pointing toward nature. Travel trends are screaming one message louder than a Vegas sports book during the Super Bowl. People want real experiences, affordable experiences, restorative experiences. The future is not artificial towers, it's national parks. Not casino floors, it's forests, rivers, cabins, and sky. Not overstimulation, it's emotional recovery. And Gatlinburg sits at the epicenter of that shift. The town is riding the biggest wave in modern travel: eco-tourism road trips, family-friendly escapes, budget-friendly adventures, mental health travel, authentic small-town culture. The Smoky Mountains are basically America's new sanctuary, a place where you can unplug without feeling guilty, explore without breaking the bank, and feel human without chasing dopamine like a lab rat in a casino maze. Vegas is trying to adapt. Cheaper rooms, more shows, new attractions. but its entire identity is built on excess. The world is moving in the opposite direction. People are ditching overstimulation and choosing stillness, ditching chaos and choosing clarity, ditching spectacle and choosing soul. Gatlinburg aligns perfectly with the new traveler. Vegas clashes with them. And that's why the future isn't on the Strip. It's in the Smokies, it's in the trees, it's in the quiet, it's in the town that somehow captured the heartbeat of a restless country. But now that we've broken down the reasons, it's time to bring it all home. Because what this shift really means for you is bigger than just vacations. Let's wrap it up with the conclusion. Conclusion: the Great American Escape and what it means for you. Picture the map of America right now. Millions of stressed-out travelers drawing invisible lines away from neon skylines and toward quiet mountain roads. People aren't just choosing Gatlinburg over Vegas. They're choosing peace over pressure, authenticity over artifice, rest over spectacle. And that shift says more about us as a society than any tourism report ever could. Because this isn't really about two locations, it's about two lifestyles. Vegas represents the old era. Loud, expensive, overstimulated, always on. The kind of place that dazzles your eyes while draining your soul. Gatlinburg represents the new era. Grounded, affordable, sincere, emotionally healing. A place where life slows down long enough for you to finally breathe, think, feel, reconnect. And now you understand why the tourism tide is turning. Why videos of the Smoky Mountains are going viral. Why families are packing cabins instead of casinos. Why travelers who once worshipped the Strip now seek something quieter, humbler, more human. You've seen the burnout. You've seen the cost. You've seen the emotional shift. And you've seen the future. Here's the bottom line. People aren't running to Gatlinburg because Vegas failed. They're running to Gatlinburg because they're tired of failing themselves. They want happiness, not hype. Rest, not rush. Memories, not receipts. So the next time you think about where to go, ask yourself one question. Do you want neon that blinds you? Or mountains that heal you? Because the Great American Escape has already begun. And now you're part of the story too.